she began to open up a little bit about what was going on, and said that she went in her and her family went in the river about 4 a.m. and this is 8 something. She said she was in the river for 4 hours at that point.
And,
sorry,
go ahead.
No, I mean, she was just extremely upset, concerned, worried, and what have you.
So thank you for that.
All we know is that prayer does work. Your prayers have made a difference. So ask for continued prayers as we continue our efforts to locate everyone.
Plumbing emergencies won't wait, neither should you. At Full Speed Plumbing, we're here 24/7, offering expert inspection for just $99, ensuring your home stays comfortable and problem-free. No hidden charges, no delays, just same-day service from licensed professional plumbers committed to your peace of mind. Call or visit fullspeedplumbing.com today for your $99 plumbing inspection and get back to living. Full Speed Plumbing, the fast track to peace of mind.
We're going to go to another weather alert. The tropical storm at Shanty landfall in South Carolina earlier this morning, bringing heavy rain and strong winds to several states in the Mid-Atlantic. Fox weather storm specialist Mike Seidel is at the beach where the storm first made landfall. Mike.
Hey, good morning. We are taking the brunt of the wind down north South Carolina. Our peak gusts down at here in Myrtle Beach, 56 miles an hour. So far, that's the highest gust recorded on land. We've had anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain. The flood watches continue up here in Horry County and Georgetown counties. And the initial flood watches for the interior parts of North Carolina. So if you're driving up 95 on parts of 40 or even 85, what's left of Chantal is heading that way, and there's flood watch basis for Raleigh-Durham area. This goes overnight until tomorrow morning. The surf has been up since yesterday. The tide is now going out. That's a good thing. But the beach has been fun. You can see the water now has never gone up here. We were concerned about much of the surge. We've had several power outages, but limited damage reports, and that's not surprising because the wind's only gusted in the 50s. Let's walk down the path here. I'll show you what's going on. And Lloyd Alford will take a look at the flags and how the wind is whipping those. You get a bit of a channeling effect through this path here through the dune line. But boy, it has been a windy and wet couple of hours for the worst of Chantal coming on shore along the northern part of South Carolina's coast and up into southern parts of North Carolina. The tropical storm warning continues from here all the way up to Surf City, North Carolina. And although most of the rain, the bulk of the rain has fallen, we're still going to have strong wind gusts into the afternoon. And again, a day that you do not want to be in the Atlantic Ocean. First landfall this season on the U.S. coastline, and we're hoping and praying that this is the worst that we have to deal with all season. But boy, that's a heck of a wish. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike. Stay safe out there.
We're counting down to the
Still can't believe that chick tried to smoke crack in the back of my cab. That was awful. Stop it, folks. My next guest, this is a real talk between you and me. My next guest gave me the finger the last time she was on this show. It's actually the nicest thing she's ever done to me on TV. She's the best of the best celebrity fitness guru, Jillian Michaels.
It must be difficult these days considering you have me back after that.
Well, you are. That's funny. She is like my dominatrix. She just comes on, calls me fat for 5 minutes and leaves. But as you can see, you're not getting to me because what did I just talk about with Emily? Eating hot dogs. You're not gonna break me, Michaels.
I see that. And that's sad, though. I'm starting to like you.
Yeah, no, we're becoming fast friends. She accidentally complimented my shirt when she walked out here.
Well, I was wondering, like, WTF, you know. Secretly, I was like, what the, you know, but it's, yeah, but like for sure.
I tell people this all the time. I'm dressed like a figure skater who let himself go. You know what I mean? Like, I look like I won a gold medal 20 years ago and then just couldn't put down the fork and knife. Let me stop right there. As you can tell, we're going to tell you some pretty aggressive jokes in this segment. And if any of them go too far, you can put it on the app Jillian Michaels. Send it right in. We'll field the complaint. All right, here's why I needed you on this time. And you always get a mission when you come on. We've officially entered summer barbecue season. Okay, so I'm going to ask you maybe like something around this or that. Of what should I eat? Okay, next. 11:30. I'm not saying I'm going to the barbecue and trying to eat smart or healthy. This is that's what I'm saying. The damage is done.
And we're hopeful that that's exactly what the next 4 years brings us here at HHS. Where did this passion for nutrition, for health, for fitness, because I mean, to be able to make the change necessary, it really does have to be passion.
I was raised in a house with 11 brothers. I had around 70. I know what a healthy child looks like. And I started seeing children, this generation of kids coming up with autoimmune diseases, juvenile diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis. I was looking around and saying, why is nobody talking about it? And so I found myself talking more and more about it and becoming more and more isolated because it was the culprits, the potential culprits for this epidemic are all very popular. And they're all the people who have been independent lobbyists and capital financial interest in the basically look at the problem. They were frightened about what they would find. And this interview was catastrophic. Really bad stuff for a guy I get those surprises every day. The vast majority of people who work for this agency are extraordinary public servants, and they're very excited about, being sent in the direction that they join the agency. They want to protect what we have. But the leadership of this agency for many years has been bankrupt morally and I would say scientifically. I'll just tell you one of the crazy things is that we could not get at the health data. There's all these different agencies that store this health data. And when I came in, let's say, each one of them and see this is causing demographic, look at all these things and start making good decisions. And that is what we're doing right now. We're revolutionizing this agency. We're bringing in AI. We've had a flood of
Whiskey, quit it.
Hey, 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 hey.
moms coming up and saying thank you. There's been this deliberate information. So we're going to change that. We're going to make it so that people can do studies, that they can do gold science, that they can publish those studies, and we're going to start doing real science and answer these questions for the moms. We're going to restore public faith in the public health regulatory agencies. There's so many perverse incentives that are built into our medical system now. Hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies, they're all making money from keeping us sick. And this is the fact of life. Economic incentives have an influence on validating or fortifying judgments that may not be the best for the nation.
You come from a very famous family, a family who's had a huge impact on this country. So as Secretary of HHS, what do you want your impact to be on America?
My uncle used to say, that you could not ever find peace if you could not put yourself into the shoes of your adversary. And I think that's what President Trump tries to do. And, I respect him enormously for that. And, I'm very proud to work for him because I think he's got a vision and we're building a horizon. He's looking at what happens to kids in this country. He's thinking about our children and what they're going to face. And so you asked me, what I would like to see from this, and that, I just want to see those visions pan out. And a lot of the stuff that he's doing is high risk, high stakes. We have to do it. If we don't do it, we're just on this, prearranged trajectory toward destruction. And, I thank God that we have a president in the White House that is not going to let our country go in that direction.
For more on the legal and environmental controversy surrounding alligator Alcatraz, let's bring in Florida Director of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you having us on.
So why, in your view, is alligator Alcatraz the ideal place to basically house some of these illegal immigrants?
Ultimately, people don't want this or any type of facility in their backyard. And at the end of the day, this is in the middle of the Everglades. It's surrounded by 39 square miles of nothing. And what it allows us to do is utilize the airstrip, the runway, and the apron that are there. We have anything in the unimproved areas of the Everglades. This is all on existing pavement, existing concrete that was already there prior to our arrival. It makes it for the perfect location to do this. And of course, as you mentioned already, there's a 10,500-foot runway there that we can land any type of aircraft in the world at this facility and fly people directly out.
A critic says putting them there is cruel. Let's play and I'll get you to respond.
Putting this in the middle of the Everglades, in the middle of nowhere, in the hot, burning Florida sun, in a swampy area, is cruel. They also said we won't need to put up too many fences because of the natural barriers, alluding that, well, if someone runs away or anything, that a gator will rip them apart and kill them. It's horrible, it's cruel.
How do you respond to that?
Well, as you heard in the segment already, Secretary Christie Noem says that we have to meet a higher level of standard for this facility. The average temperature in these tents is probably in the mid-70s, if not lower. When it gets in the heat of the day, it's obviously a little higher or hotter than the mid-70s. At night, it can get a little bit cooler than that. But again, these standards are over and above what is available right now in any type of county correctional facility, state Department of Corrections facility. We meet a higher standard. Again, there's a lot of fake news out there showing that there is flooding going on in these tents. There was some flooding that happened on the first day, and if you look at the very end of the actual clip that was shot there by Jason Delgado, there is a tent that is not securely fastened to the bottom of the subflooring, and that is where the water intrusion happened. That has been fixed. It was fixed that day, and we do not have any flooding in these tents. They're all climate controlled. They all have bunks to sleep on instead of sleeping on the floor. So these are above average standards, and we're happy to support the president, the secretary, and the governor with this particular project.
Some Florida Democrats attempted to visit the site and were turned away. Let's play that, and I'll get you to react.
Governor Ron DeSantis handing out contracts to his friends to build what is essentially a concentration camp.
$450 million dollars can be going here to fund torture. Torture.
Torture's a little strong. That may have been a stunt from the TV cameras, but we've allowed them to visit at the appropriate time.
Of course we will. We didn't know that they were coming in the middle of that particular segment being shot yesterday. We were in the process of taking hundreds of individuals from ICE, so it was not exactly the right time to have individuals go in there. I will point out that the Speaker of the House himself, as well as Senator Joe Hooters, were both there on the day that we actually had nobody in the facility and were able to do tours themselves. So we have complied with allowing individuals from the legislature in Florida to actually do inspections. We will continue to do those when it is the appropriate time and we don't have individuals coming in right now. They can reach out and contact our office. We are getting ready to schedule a tour on site for members of both sides of the aisle, and we welcome them to reach out to us and let us know. Nobody from their office has reached out to us beforehand. At least one of them has reached out to me after the fact, but not before the fact.
What's your message to folks who are worried about the environmental impact there in the Everglades?
Again, Governor DeSantis has led very, very strong on the Everglades. We've done more for the Everglades and natural restoration than any other governor has, possibly any other governors combined in the state of Florida, who have put billions of dollars into the Everglades. And we will continue to ensure that we uphold this national treasure in pristine environment. Again, I reiterate, we have not put anything into the Everglades. We've been building on top of existing concrete, existing asphalt, existing infrastructure that is already there.
You've been very clear about that. I just heard a lot of complaints, and I want you to have an opportunity to address them. Kevin Guthrie, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Mike, thanks a lot. And my heart goes out to him, Kid, the people out in Texas. We're right here with you, buddy.
For more on how the Big Beautiful Bill will help border enforcement, let's bring DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Tricia McLaughlin. Tricia, welcome.
Mike, thanks for having me.
So the Big Beautiful Bill now law is nearly 900 pages. How does it impact what you do at Homeland Security in terms of protecting our border?
I know a lot of viewers probably heard Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader, saying that if they pass the Big Beautiful Bill, it would allow us to unleash a deportation machine on steroids, and he's absolutely correct. We will do just that. Since President Trump took office in less than 6 months, we've arrested 2,700 members of Tren de Aragua within the interior of our country. And deal with Tren de Aragua, they're a vicious gang out of Venezuela. They rape, they maim, they kill, and they were in the interior of our country thanks to Joe Biden's feckless policies. But further, we've arrested 570 known or suspected terrorists inside of our country. We will continue to go after law enforcement, but how do we do that even further and turbocharge our arrest numbers? And we're doubling our detention bed space with this bill. We're getting even more officers, ICE officers on the street, up to 20,000 now, with 50% increase in our workforce. And we're also going to be getting our Border Patrol and ICE enforcement officers bonuses that they need to continue to do their job and work hard and make America's streets safe again.
From the Fox poll on illegal immigration, extremely or very concerned about the issue. 49% of Democrats, 84% of Republicans, 68% of independents. What does that say to you about the importance of your mission at Homeland Security?
Well, it's critical. We know that at least 20 million illegal aliens entered this country, hundreds of thousands of which are convicted criminals, rapists, murderers, gang members, terrorists, as we mentioned before. And that is the tip of the spear, Mike. We are laser focused on getting criminals out of this country. 70% of those who we've arrested under this administration have either been convicted of a crime or have pending criminal charges. So that is who we are